Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Mixed Media Mayhem, which I'm combining with Kit Conspiracy today using my Simple Stories Simple Vintage Lakeside collection. And for Mixed Media Mayhem, our recipe included stencils, embossing, and paint. And this recipe was brought to you by Sandy Reversky over at State Goddess. You can go check her out on her channel, or you can check out all of the other people playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem, and the links are down below for that, as well as MK's link to her channel, which she will be playing along with both also. So I am starting out with paint. I'm using Dylusions white linen paint, and this paint is super old. It doesn't even come in this kind of canister anymore or jar anymore. It comes in a little squeezable bottle. And I am using a stencil. I cannot remember where this stencil is from, but I will look it up and I will put a link for it down below. But it's got fern leaves on it, and I thought that was really cool since I've got this paper that has kind of like ferny looking type items on it and mushrooms. And so I have two photos of my husband. Well, the photos are of this fungus that is growing on these large trees. Big redwood, or actually they're not redwoods. They're in the same family as redwoods. Anyway, I will find out what they are. But they are growing on these trees. And you can see my husband's hand in the right-hand photo just for size reference. And so I am stenciling in some of this white paint just by, I'm using a dry brush, and I'm just tapping it over the stencil. I don't want to brush it because I don't want to push any underneath the stencil. And it dries relatively quickly, and that's how I can pick up the stencil and just move it over. And it doesn't actually smear anything because, like I said, I'm doing a really light coating over it. And I'm just tapping it on to the paper to give that light coating. Now, I'm not really pleased with how it looks in the upper left-hand corner of the photos, but that's going to get covered anyway. It's going to have a bunch of embellishments up there. Right now, it kind of looks like I made a star or something out of it, or a really funky star. I didn't get the placement right, and I decided, I'm not going to worry about it too much because I know that the photo is going to be there, and then there's going to be embellishing going on, and so I would just work with it the way it is. I only have one sheet of this piece of paper, so it is what it is. And at the end of the day, you can't tell at all because the embellishments do cover a huge portion of it. And that is how it is with mixed media anyway. A lot of times you do a lot of the color right around the photo and a lot of stamping and stuff, and you end up with where you don't get to see a ton of it. Just that's the nature of the beast. In fact, a lot of times you don't even put the color under where where the photos are going because it's just kind of wasteful of your product because you're not going to see that anyway. So now I'm just playing with a lot of the mushroom die cuts that are from the ephemera pack, the sticker pack, the the extra die cut pack that I have for it. And then I pulled out some dies from Tim Holtz. I apologize, you guys. I'm getting over a cold, so talking is not easy. So I pulled out these dies from Tim Holtz. The only one that is not a Tim Holtz die is the one that looks like a sword leaf fern. That one is a Momenta die. And I got these all at Hobby Lobby. So I'll put links down below for what they are. I don't know. The Tim Holtz ones may still be available elsewhere. I know that the Momenta ones, a lot of times they make them specific to Hobby Lobby. So I don't know if you can get that particular one anymore. But I'll put the links down below for what I have or the product numbers if I don't have a link. Okay, so my plan is to use a lot of mushroom dies because I don't really honestly take a lot of mushroom pictures. And so using them up seemed like a really great idea to me because I know, this is not exactly a mushroom, it's a fungus, but you know, same general family, I think. And so I'm going to go ahead and just use as many as I can on here. Otherwise, they probably won't get used for quite some time because it's not something that I like photograph regularly. I actually should do an entire layout about mushrooms because the town that I work in is known for their mushrooms, and oftentimes you get a smell in the morning or the afternoon when they are harvesting, and you're like, that just smells pretty rank. But it's not all the time. It's just kind of a seasonal thing, and you know, I could do a layout about that, but maybe we'll see. So what I'm doing here is I just cut all of these Tim Holtz ones and the sword leaf fern. I think that's what it's called. That's what I'm calling it, even if it's not what it's called. I am putting embossing powder on them because one of our ingredients on our recipe was embossing. And I have this Tim Holtz Distress Embossing Glaze that actually Sandy gave me. So thank you, Sandy, for that. I'm using it, putting it to good use here. And it just happened to be the right colors for the background paper. So I have it in speckled egg and I have it in cracked pistachio. It came in a 3-pack. The third color is a more, a brighter blue. It's broken china. So I didn't use that one, but it came in a 3-pack and I thought this was the perfect layout to put them on, because the speckled egg one matches that background perfectly. The green brings in a little bit of the brighter greens. And then what I'm doing is I'm using my Versamark embossing ink over the top of the white flowers, and I'm leaving them white. I'm putting clear embossing powder on them. And then what I did was I kind of just brushed them, the tips of the flowers, over the embossing pad, and I sprinkled some gold over it. So you're going to see some gold highlights at the tips of the two of the flowers there, just to bring in another color to kind of go with those more brown muted kind of earth tones that the mushrooms have in them. I am going to use the red mushrooms as well, just to bring in another color. I'm not adding any red anywhere else really. I'm just kind of I will add some in the third embellishment area at the top, but I'm keeping the red very simple and very light. I'm not adding a whole lot of red, but I did want to bring in those colors just for some visual interest. I don't really want this to be monochromatic or anything like that, so I thought it was a good choice. I am popping my photos up onto some foam just because I have so many layers underneath them. I didn't want the photo to look like it had any bulk underneath it, and to create like that waviness of the bulk that is inevitably going to be under it from having all of those layers of flowers. So adding the foam kind of keeps it nice and flat, and then it will just rest on top of those flower stems. So I'm liking how it's looking so far, and as you can see, I've covered up all of that mixed media that I didn't like, but you can still see the tips of those leaves poking out, so you know it's there. I do like the 2 bottom ones that are coming out from the bottom of the photos, so I'm not going to even worry about covering those up. And then I am doing this little embellishment cluster up at the top right hand side just to create a visual triangle, and then another embellishment cluster down here at the bottom, kind of not exactly split evenly between my other 2 embellishment clusters, but it is definitely still in between the 2. It's just not split evenly. And that gives me that triangle that goes back over to, you know, the photos. The photos are they're not in the center of the triangle, but they are in the triangle. So that kind of keeps your eye in that area, in the vicinity. So I added this little piece that says nature is all you need. These photos were taken up at the same lake that I've been documenting all week so far. And my husband, my son, and then one of my husband's really good friends went up. I think my dad went with them as well. They went up, I don't know, maybe a month beforehand to scout out the camping area. And so they are up at the same campground, but these were not taken at the same time. So I didn't really feel like they needed to be on the same layout as the other photos. And it's just kind of a unique photograph, so I thought I would give it its own special page. And this paper just was begging to be used for this. It's got mushrooms on it, it's got all the greenery, and so I think it's perfect. Now there are a lot of pine trees up there, but there are some trees that are in the same family as the redwoods, so I believe that that is what these trees are, but I don't know for certain. I am not an arborist. Never claimed to be, and my husband probably would know, because I can't actually even see the rest of the tree. All I can see is that portion. I didn't cut the photograph down. I didn't crop it or anything. I can't even see the rest, so I have no idea. I am popping up some of these onto some foam just to give them an added lift, and then I do put my acrylic block over the top just to hold it down while everything kind of sets up. And I'm using my tweezers in the same manner at the edge of the paper there to hold everything down while the glue sets, because I am using that liquid glue. I do need to use the liquid glue because all of those leaves at the bottom are covered in embossing powder, and so the liquid glue definitely helps. And the glue in my ATG gun does not stick great to small bits of foam tape. It does stick okay on larger pieces, but these little bits, it kind of just peels right off. So I always find that the foam is held better by a liquid glue because of that. Now I am adding a little bit of butterflies, or a butterfly, to this layout. It's got a dragonfly already printed on it, and so I just added the little butterfly there as though it's landing on that bottom cluster of mushrooms, and I like the way that that looks. I also brought in a little bit of greenery down below because I have a little bit of greenery from the die cut pack on the photos, or to the left of the photos on the upper cluster of photos. Boy, you guys, talking is really hard today. My throat is not feeling great, so trying to figure out where to add this little banner piece. I thought I was going to add it at the bottom of the photos, but I end up just adding it over to the right of this cluster, and it's really subtle because it is the same color as the paper. It just says "Stay Curious," and I really like it there because of how subtle it is, and it's not really attached to anything, so it could actually be floating in the middle of that pile of leaves there that is printed on the photo. But because it's the same color, it doesn't look weird. It doesn't look like it's floating. Adding a few more butterflies up here at the top just to finish it off. I'm liking the way that's looking, and I added that little clippy, it looks like a clip anyway, and it says "Explore Your World," and I liked that because I think we should all, take some time to stop and smell the roses. In our busy lives, we don't do that enough, I think. So here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. Again, I'll put links to any products that I use down below, and the links to everybody who's playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem, as well as Kit Conspiracy. The link to MK's channel will be there. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will be back again tomorrow with another Kit Conspiracy video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.